Okay, good evening and welcome to Mo Knows, featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. This is another edition of Mo Day morning quarterbacking. I'm actually sad, taking everything in. Let me listen to the sound on the back end. The delay is serious, so taking everything in. Let me listen to the sound on the back end. All right. Nevertheless, this was an interesting day. Definitely an interesting day. All right. Few things I have to get organized. So I did find the indictment. Um, I'll probably only be here half an hour this evening because I just feel like it's a somber moment. Why do people go texting me when I go live? Oh, it's letting me know I went live. Ain't that nice? Memories. Who is that? Why did I go here? Let me just move over. Move that over. Get out of there. Get out of there. You know, of course, today I was at work and I wasn't zoned in today on the trial because I was so zoned yesterday that I had some really important things to take care of today. Anyway, I did take a moment to go and print. Well, I printed it at home on single pages, which drove me crazy. So I went back in the office and converted my single pages to double-sided so I could fit it in my notebook. But what I don't have is the beginning pages of this because it didn't print. So I have to go back and get the cover page to the indictment. But I did pull it up. And I want to begin my commentary this evening from that perspective. Um, yeah, I want to pull it from that perspective. Trying to figure out what I was gonna do. My brain is, you know, thing. All right, I was going to my files and I was going to the things that I downloaded, the re-indictment, because that's what they call this, a re-indictment of whatever number I had, and then they named it two. Okay, tonight I'm gonna focus on the indicted individual Antonio Sledge, aka Monk Tounk, because today let's just recap. He was indicted on the YSL indictment, which is a RICO indictment. So I want to reinforce again that this is the RICO. right? Because people were still shouting from the rafters that there's a whole lot of double jeopardy going on around here. And the way the RICO is constructed is that you have to have an overt act in order to be, or at least on, I don't know if you have to, but on this one, they have overt acts, which is count number one of the indictment, which makes it a RICO. And um, Antonio Sledge was on count number one. In this indictment, and let me just choose this because I want to make sure I'm going off of the newest copy that I have. He was on count number one and count number 30. So out of my newly printed documents that I haven't marked up or anything yet, I just hole punched the paper and made it two-sided. Um, he's on count 30. So after all of the so the so the count that they had against him, which means that he had a live charge against him in this case. And here's what it read. And the grand jury and the grand jurors aforesaid in the name and behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do charge and accuse Antonio Sledge, aka Mounk, with the offense of possession of a firearm by convicted felon previously convicted of felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. In the violation of Georgia law pursuant to OCGA section 1611, I'm getting older, I can't read from a distance. What page is that? 79. Let's just go to page 79. Woo, woo, woo. 79 it shall be. Oh, 79 here looks different than 79 there. Oh, it didn't go all the way down. Hold up 1 second. Hold up before we roll up. It's count 30. All right, here we go. All right, so it's section 1611, 133. For the said accused in the county of Fulton in the state of Georgia on the 5th day of December 2021, did knowingly and with lawful authority and without lawful authority um possess a firearm, to wit, a handgun, after having been convicted of a felony in indictment 15 FC 138994 in the Superior Court of Georgia, in the Superior Court of Fulton County, Georgia, for the offenses of possession of a firearm during commission of a felony and aggravated assault with the deadly weapon on 10th day of January 2018, contrary to the laws of said state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. All right, so this makes a little bit more sense because initially when I was looking at this, I was looking at how much time he actually received. I was wondering why they had given him so much time. This back here, criminal penalties for violation. So when I had looked it up, I looked up 15 years to serve on probation, which was five, which based on the count that was listed here, it was a count that was due 5 to 20 years. And then the other one was possession of a firearm by a convicted felon was 1 to 5 years, right? And then remember, I said that you could get subsequent 5 to 10 years if this was a second offense. So it sounds like this was a second offense for him, which is why he got those, why he had a number like 15 in the first place. Um, which were converted to probationary years and so on and so forth. Um, I listened to the judge's decision today and I can't disagree with it. Um, but what I can say is that if you were not familiar with her, now you are familiar with her and you get to see how um and this is not the first time. I hate when I do that. This is not the first time we got to see how serious she is about her affection towards her craft lore. Hey, I'm Shantae. We definitely now get to see this is the second time. The first time that I was able to get a feel for her and her passion for lore, right? Was when she was speaking to the content creator, Infamous Sylvia, and how she gave her the ethical rules of being a journalist, right? So she's kind of trying to help her live out her dream, right? Or live whatever it is that she's currently doing to make it manifest into reality, right? So she gave her some tools to help her be successful, right? She allowed her to continue to stream from the courtroom. Um and then remember the exchange that she had with her when she spoke to her about her attitude towards the jurors and how she didn't find that, how she didn't appreciate what she was saying by naming them and so on and so forth, even though I agree with the judge, because I don't know how you can find anything positive about calling anybody a nose. Like, only the nose knows, and you just know that that was not. Mm-mm. All right, anyway, moving on. So I was a little bit like, but to hear her today, as she was explaining to him that it's more than just number 8. It was the constant stream of things that he said was not perfect in the agreement. Now, folks are always asking, what should we do? We're outraged how this case is going. Who do you blame for his revocation? Personally, I blame his attorney. And I don't know who, and I'm gonna look over my shoulder one time. I don't know who is hiring Mr. Wright. A couple of weeks ago, I came here and I said, yo, he was ineffective counsel. And ain't changed. And he sat up there and he insulted the judge tonight. Like, I was just like, did he really do that? He really insulted her. Can my client turn himself in? I wrote something in the chat earlier when I was watching this, and people was like, "Oh, this is so terrible," and his offenses didn't seem so heinous. And it didn't sound like that on the paper. What the probation officer read out didn't seem that egregious, right? He didn't seem that bad on paper. But let's talk about what we're really talking about. We're talking about someone who I couldn't tell because it's in the over ad. Remember? He drove the little D's to the let's go to his plea deal because he admits that's what he did. He was in his fees. He drove the little D's over to some neighborhood and dropped them off in the middle of the neighborhood. And they went on a shooting spree or whatever. And he took accountability. That's an Alfred plea for that, which is a different kind of guilty, but whatever. I can't justify it in my head. That's I guess that's where I guess that's the point I'm at. I just can't justify things in my head. Um, Especially when people have done the time for the other crime that they committed, but the RICO part, the conspiracy part is the impact they're having on the community, right? I'm just trying to really understand is if the crimes were pervasive at the time that this RICO came down. So he did get a charge from 2021, and they did mention stuff from 2018. They were charged in this RICO in 2022. And whatever date that was, it said 2021. So stuff was going on at the time. I got a lot of things racing in my head with this because I think this is giving a glimmer of let me just keep it jiggy. I'm tired of seeing YSL attorneys for the defendants doing hey Joy, doing interviews. You got clients who have a no nonsense judge who's going to lock your clients up, period. So I don't think this is the time to be on TikToks at 11 p.m. in the nighttime going into midnight um, on the evening that the defense successfully had a man removed from testifying for something that I'm gonna use Sledge's attorney's words today. Hey, Miss Mandy, something that was a technicology, a technical, a technological issue. And the judge even said it, but it was these I use the word flagrant. These were these flagrant foul. Oh, thank you very much. But I like when you said influences at night. Laugh out loud. Yo, yo, he's like the attorney. First of all, and this is my personal gripe with Doug, okay? Doug Weinstein, right? Because I'm just gonna be real, right? Where I come from, if you hire a Weinstein, You're hiring the best, right? We just got our own little slogans around here, right? That's what you are that's what you are expecting. That's the expectation. But yeah, I saw a whole Twitter. No, it's not a Twitter. TikTok, a reenactment of a TikTok with him on there talking last night about his win. That these are premature wins when you still have a mistrial that you can't get someone to call. This is not the time to be doing the interview. Everybody wants to make something out of this, right? For their own personal gain. When there are men, women, and their families impacted by this one case. Today, if I heard Steele's cross-examination of Sprinkle as I think I heard it. So I'm going to have to go back and listen. It sounds as if when he cross examined him and he asked him, he read a quote, right? And here goes Sprinkler. I call him Sprinkler, but whatever. Sprinkler, because them two Pee Wee Herman type guys just have me over it. Okay, so that's gonna be Sprinkler and the other dude Abati. They give me Pee Wee Herman vibes all the time. I just like Pee Wee Herman. Just do the Pee Wee Herman. Okay. Anyway, I'm so I'm so not right. But anywho. If I heard correctly, he read him where the guy was not confident that Jeffrey Williams is part of this connection. Now, though Jeffrey Williams is not charged with count two, he is charged with a count that relates to being in a gang and the RICO. And in the RICO, his lyrics and his whatever it is, his gang signing and etc. are the overt acts, along with purchasing a vehicle that we still have no confirmation that it was the vehicle that drove by the scene of the Donovan Thomas incident and wreaked havoc on that man's life. There's no evidence that has been presented thus far that definitively or has an effect on the listener that that vehicle was there. No, what we have is all circumstantial evidence. It's not 100%. So far, what I've seen so far is not 100% that the vehicle he rented was also the vehicle that went there and was involved in the incident. It's not 100%. And even at best, it's circumstantial. The only thing that is absolute and might not even be absolute is that someone with the name of Jeffrey Williams rented that vehicle. And I find it interesting because you could have just stipulated to it if you knew that to be a fact that he rented the vehicle. But in any event, when the judge told the six, is it six of them right now? When she told them to decide to take a plea, hey, what's up, Beach? That might be a decision they needed to really consider. taken a plea. They should have really for those who got too much intimately digested in him, they should have took a plea. I'm starting to think this is just me, and that's why my stuff ain't gonna go too far. But I'm starting to feel like there's some heavy hitters on here, but they're here for a different reason. The same way Bumpus came on, and I don't know what kind of charade. And I think this is why the judge is so outraged. You got what Bumpus said. You got what it's just the list of stuff that just goes on. Bumpus came in here. She was fired by Woody. I don't even know what that show was, but she was fired by Woody. She came to testify. Doug put her on the stand. They all believed, and let me tell you something about the defense attorneys. They don't care nothing. They're no respecter of persons. And for those of you who read your Bible, you know exactly what that comes out to. But they're no respecter of persons. So they even were willing to throw Bumpus under the bus a long time ago when they came out. And they was like, well, listen, we heard that this is what took place during the ex parte, knowing that there was a limited amount of people there. Oh, thank you. But knowing that there was a limited amount of people there, they're probably busy though. It's a Friday. Um, she had to be the one to get at least give them that information. And then it was slightly worded. And the judge, Glansville over there, was like, you're way out of line. You're just way out of line. Like he could see this um going or falling apart right before his eyes. But in any event, there's heavy hearts tonight because there's heavy decisions that need to be made. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I, I'm gonna tell y'all. I be in environments where I definitely am neutral, but here in Motown, I'm just gonna be honest. Some of these guys are guilty. They not may not be guilty of all of that stuff, but they guilty. And that's the bottom line right about now. And when I look at the thing that has me so angry, right? Is right. Right is so wrong. Like he is just so wrong as an attorney. So all of these people that are gangsters out here right now on this internet, what could we do for YSL? Get out there and file a complaint against Right. It's lawyers like him who's messed everything up for everybody else. What Wright could have did while he was sitting there instead of you want to wait, let me go to the video. And when he tells the judge, like put heavier sanctions on him while he's out in the street. How much heavier of a sanction should Mr. Mounk get at this point? I think he has exemplified that he's doing what a normal person does in society, right? Not that I'm saying, oh, we should commend him for being a good dad, or we should commend him for having a job and working, because the rest of us have been doing that all of this time, right? We've been going to work. We've been doing all this stuff. I'm not saying to celebrate that, right? But that's all he could say about that man. This is a man who gave his life to you. at least the next 20 something years of it, 25 to 30, maybe 35. You should honestly close down your practice. You're worse than Melnick. Oh, my chat is moving. Sorry. I don't believe, and I'm going to say this. No, Miss Mandy. Thug was present in the thing with the car that went over the embankment and hit inside the thing. I believe Thug was present for that. I I wholeheartedly believe that. That's the thing that Bean, who was sitting there, and that's why the judge gave Montauk this, because she's tired of these people getting on the stand and coming in there and lying. Montauk's little beat him up girlfriend, right? The boxer, right? She comes and sits on the stand and she tells us, I didn't tell the police anything. I wasn't even there. That's why I say she's a setup, right? But what did she absolutely do? Dennis, yesterday, when he testified, he said she provided them with the video from the neighbor of the shootout against Montauk. She provided them with the video that they're using with the threats that got Montauk and Little D in it. That was a video provided by her, but she sat on the stand and said she didn't do it. That's what the judge is mad about. Y'all coming up inside the courthouse. Y'all, what did Thug say? You lied to your mama, your papa, but you get on, like they ain't even getting on a stand and telling the God's honest truth at this point. Who's Dennis? Sorry, he's gone. Bye bye. No, Dennis is probably not. I don't know. Hey, Ray. Um, so but that's an overt act that exceeds the time limits, such as renting a car in 2015 exceeds the term limits. Um, I'm gonna take my time tonight to go through Steele's cross-examination because I was sitting at work and it was hitting all kinds of bells with me. And I was also listening to the tone and the reaction that he was getting from um I call them Pee Wee Hermans, the two Pee Wee Hermans, right? The prosecution side is tired of this case as well. And the mockery that I personally believe that Hilton and Love have made out of this case. When people be talking about kin folks and they be making the statements about all kin folks ain't well, however that statement goes, this is a prime example of it. When all our kin folks are not really doing us no favors. I'm not saying that they should be lenient on these guys. I just say that they should be professional and ethical in doing their duties as lawyers. What I have seen in this case is the worst ethics ever. You can't train like whichever school. So the real what's this dude, the black law student, instead of worrying about what Atlanta Hawks are doing, you need and you want to make sure that we don't get another tainted pool of attorneys like the ones we're working with right now. You need to write to the school that Hilton is teaching in. Make some noise over there because see, she's molding the next generation to be like her. That's why when what's the chick's name? Bumpus was sitting inside the judge's chambers And she didn't even know she was in an ex parte because she thought that was business as usual. Remember, this same judge, what, she wasn't happy with her either at that moment when she was on the stand and she was testifying. She wasn't happy with her either. This is a terrible case, period. This is just one of the worst cases. I hate it for Mounk, but he signed the plea and you committed perjury when you signed the plea and on the stand. Exactly. He got, but, but he got bad advice. And right now, people are angry. Where are the civil rights attorneys? See, the reason why you're not gonna get that he's railroad, right? But here's the image. I was 10 years older than Little D and Little D. And I drove Little D and Little D, Little Dumber, because I think there's Little D and there's Little Dumber. But I drove Little D and Little D over to a scene to shoot at people. And one of the people got shot in the buttock. There were collateral damage. They're lucky that more citizens weren't terminated, untimely deaths behind them. That's the message. And when Judge Witt is reading out his history, right? When she said, "Run me his history," and based on his testimony, he never really served any time. She's only giving Montauk what he never really got. It's like some kind of revenge. What are they saying about Thug's lyric? Remember the song about chasing the bag? This is all the consequences of those things. What about little friends? What do you mean by little friends? Rome, laugh out loud. My brother Hawk's still a team. I don't know, whatever they got. And I'm just saying he wrote some Atlanta team. I don't know which one it was. But my thing is, if you want to have a direct impact, right? We need to be strategic with how we infiltrate the problem. In my perspective is we don't need no more loves out here, and we don't need no more Hilton types out here. And you can't have them educating the next generation of lawyers to come up because we have an example of what we saw in Bumpus and how she felt. Right now, I'm not saying that Bumpus is a bad person, so please don't point in that direction. But I'm saying that in order for you to be an successful person, you need to have good mentors. You need to have people that model good behavior for you. It's it's one of the keys to success in any profession that you're in. Is you got to have people that model for you. um it goes a long way. Yeah, when Bumpus was on that stand, it, well, first, be clear, everyone used her. She was a pawn in the whole game. I mean, let's just I gotta put it on what I feel. She was a pawn in this whole game. when um when Melnick asked her to come in, right? They already knew she was coming. They already knew her ties to the family. There's more to this story that we're not hearing that we kind of got a better look at dealing with Dennis yesterday. I went back to the video to look at what we didn't watch yesterday because, like I looked at the scene from the strip club. You really can't see nothing. They look like they just it's not a up front, it's like a camera angle from the top down, so the nudity is a little bit masked. But you see a fight break out, right? It's the first time that we really connected the story. Martinez Arnold gets jumped at the club. He leaves. He calls his friend Yak. Yak shows up with the Gak. You understand? They're going to the area to revenge what just happened to them. Last thing we know is they get to the area that they're about to go blast up, and all police are on deck. They make a U-ey to get out of there, and that's how they get followed by the other police officers. Then they flee and run and jump out the car and do all this stuff and get chased and mowed down. That's why Doug has not requested for a bond. But that reminds me, I wanted to look to see what date was the Yak. I wanted to look to see what that was. No more influence attorneys following. No more influence attorneys following in Fulton DA's habits. It will be the end of honest legal practice for criminal law. I mean, if you look at, first of all, where is your attorney general in Georgia? Because I haven't followed all of the stuff that you guys have been following on DA Bonnie, right? I haven't followed all of that, right? But I will tell you one thing. Y'all never speak on your Atlanta mayor who left office. Remember, she didn't run again, right? Why did she leave? Remember when the black when the two we're in the middle of COVID, they're in the middle of the protest, and they had the two black, the boy and the girl that was in the car that got pulled over, that y'all ended up paying a whole lot of money to them, right? Because they were police brutality, excessive force. Too much stuff went on in there. The guy, the Wendy's guy getting shot at the thing, and how quickly they went to arrest, and then it ended up getting all thrown out for due process, reasons. It's just crazy. I wanted to see, when did that incident happen with Yak Gotti and Martinez? Hold on a minute. I just want to see what year it is in. But it doesn't matter because Yak Gotti, and someone asked me, Yak is seen on the video camera in the gas station 3 minutes, 5 minutes, however many minutes before the whatever the incident that occurred with Donovan Thomas. They have shown us him walking to They have shown us him walking to the other car in the gas station. Love slipped up a couple of weeks ago when she was cross-examining somebody or redirecting somebody. Redirect, because she's directing redirect phase. And she said, what would happen if you knew that there was a camera on the back of the gas station and it showed people getting in and out the car? I don't think that's by happenstance. I don't think so. And that's what's critical. There's no term, there's no statute of limitations is the appropriate word. There's no statute of limitations on murder. In my life, I've only worked one criminal case, and it was for a personal reason as a paralegal. And that's because I wanted access to all the information and I wanted to dive through all the discovery that I would have never gotten to see otherwise. What we listen to today, still, he's not doing YouTube interviews with people. Because, see, he's not victorious until his man is free. He is sitting up there and he done went through that discovery that you hear people like Shard saying, well, they gave us so much. We don't know where to go. We don't know what to look at. You look at everything. You look at everything that comes in. You got paid handsomely to look at everything. But we are now learning that some of them are, even though they're high-powered attorneys, they got the same like a public offender would have. They do these pro bono or whatever that is when you take cases that are out of in New York they call something 18B HB something. There's a type of attorney, but you only get an 18B attorney. Let's pretend that's the number. I think that's the number, but let's pretend that that's the number, 18B attorney, but I'm subject to be wrong in that. That means you're getting a criminal attorney, right? A criminal defense attorney who deals with a certain degree, a certain level of charge, right? So, and Rome was trying to explain this earlier. When you're getting charged with misdemeanors, right? And a misdemeanor means that you can spend up to, it could be anywhere. It's a short period of time. I don't want to say up to because a misdemeanor means that you could get time below 1 year. A felony means you're going to serve, or your crime is the minimum is 1 year and a day. That's what makes it a felony because you're serving more than 365 days. It's 1 year and a day. You would get an attorney that is you would get an attorney that is able to, who is more seasoned in dealing with a a felony. Then there are, do not quote me on this. There's classes of felonies. So there could be class A, class B, class D, class felonies, right? Depending on the felony, such as murder, there's another type of attorney for anyone who is indigent and can't afford an attorney that will be appointed to you, but they go through the court and they get appointed, but they come from these fancy law firms like a merchant firm or whatever, and they end up representing um indigent or people who cannot afford an attorney. So in a case like this, that's a RICO, right? Where you're getting highly charged as if it was a murder, right? Because a murder, you can, especially in Georgia, murders come with death penalties. Or a murder could come with 25 to life, right? So you would get that type of attorney to represent you, but it's appointed through the court, but it comes from the fancy dancy law firm. Who are the fancy dancy law firms? That would be in these cases merchant. That would be a Steele's firm if he took criminal cases. Because remember, Steele is looking at this stuff from the perspective of an appeals attorney. So when he's taking apart this case and he's listening in the courtroom, he's an appeals attorney. Now, if you listen to Doug on the TikTok from last night, right? He is applauding and celebrating the fact that he went up there and did an A+ performance about Dennis misspoke or intentional breach by saying that his client was dancing on a car after just being released from jail. That's what I'm hearing that the quote is. And that came from Doug. And we're waiting to hear Sylvia. She got it on recording to really hear it, to hear for myself. So, hey, what's up, JJ? So, so Doug is commending. He said that while he was up there, everybody else was doing the due diligence to find him the case law. So while they was waiting for the 15 minutes for Hilton to come up with her crazy case law, they was back there doing all the work. And he was like commending how like everybody's working together or whatever. Y'all got Dennis out, right? But it it seems to be it seems to be a silly win. So I write or I send a message to I sent a message to Dear Woke Christian today because I'm like, hey, you know what? When they came up with the new gang expert, I said, whoa, love is extremely vindictive. You took away her golden judge and you gave her a judge that she probably had a problem with when they both were prosecutors working in that office because you can see the tension. Miss Love, let me rebuke you. Like, I ain't never seen anything like this. So I tried to explain earlier, right, that Love is intimidated by wit. Is evident, but she's also going to get her back. So do not hesitate for 1 minute to think, because we've seen her pettiness. Let's talk about petty. She Love got served with the, remember Montauk? This is why he was extremely important. She mistaken his Alfred plea and read it as if it was a plea, yada ba ba, bing, bing, bing. What happened? She got that public rebuke, right? The following day, I don't know what the defense did. They did something weird, and she was like, I need them to be publicly rebuked. She's a tit for tat artist. Knock, knock, Judge Witt. Recusal motion is imminent. Keep it up. Keep disrespecting them. You called Mr. Brown, Mrs. Brown, and then told everybody you ain't say it. He gonna remember that bias. You got all the I need attorneys that know how to try cases around here. Yo, they are stacking the deck against her. Remember how the defense wanted so clearly, wanted, oh, judge embarrassed me in front of the people, said I didn't. I'm always prepared. Now, one thing that Witt hasn't done is embarrass them in front of the jurors, but nevertheless, she's humiliated them in front of us who are lay people observing the process, and then other people who are just, like taking advantage of the process, or believe the process is what it is. I'm not gonna hold y'all all evening, but I'm gonna tell y'all that Montauk, it broke me for all of my ride home. I was broken, right? But I was broken on the sense that I had to say the judge was correct in that if you have a affection for the thing you for your craft, right? You don't want people disrespecting it. This case could go much further if we didn't have Woody's on the stand, and I'm not saying Woody, I'm saying Woody's on the stand, right? That attitude of how they're gonna come into court and lie. Look at a young lady, right? But I want to know who her attorney was. The boxer's cousin that got up there the other day. Um, the other chick. She just testified this week. The pretty girl. She's really pretty. Good. Good, good. Good, good. Good, good. I'm gonna stop throwing out my own allegations, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. But Good was the girlfriend of Zachary at the time when her cousin Atrivia was no longer dating Sledge. And I'm supposed to believe she was very well versed when she got up there and she said, I don't remember saying that, but I said that. If you say I said it, that's the same thing that what's his name did today. What am I calling him? Sprinkler. He said to look at this. And this is so intuitive. He said to Phil, well, since you're reading it, I must have said it. So yeah, because you're quoting me on that. And I believe what I heard him saying to him was that whatever he said, he didn't believe that Jeffrey Williams was part of um the Donovan Thomas thing. So why is he there? Why is he there? I'm gonna conclude with this. I believe that murders need to be solved, so I'm not going to say that they shouldn't go after whoever took out Donovan Thomas. There's a couple of more deceased people on here. The new gang expert. Oh, this is what I told Dear Road Christian today. I said, listen, they always had that gang expert. They didn't want to deal with that gang expert. Let me take a moment. I gotta do my, we go on impressions, right? Miss Gang Expert that worked for the ATF or whatever, whatever. What wasn't she? She wasn't dirty and trifling like what is it? Horrible. Like that lady, right? Gaither. She came in there, hair on fleek, looking neat, shining, glowing. Yeah. Not afraid to have her face on camera. See, when them people want to hide them faces and they work for us, right? Because you law enforcement, right? I pay you to protect me. My tax dollars, my efforts, my existence pays you to protect me. And you don't want to show me who you are? I need to know why. See, you're ashamed of the skin you're in and the uniform you adored. Even Big Head who got up there, right? And God please forgive me. Right. I was right up there like ET, phone home, and all that other stuff, right? Until I decided to go through the indictment. I was like, who's Roger? And it hit me that we was just about to get into the situation with the other dude that was screaming for his mama. Sir, you done shot the police officer 6 times. Ran down the block. I don't know whose house you ran into. Girlie is such a mop head, right? That she runs out of her house without her kids. Okay? I just want to explain to you. A building could be burning. If you got my kids and the dog inside there, I'm going in the house. Okay. And if I had a bird, I'd probably be going in there to get my bird too. I'm not standing on the curb talking about, oh, the guy came in my house. So that's some real crackhead stuff to me, right? Because those are the only people that'll let somebody that just shot the police officer or anybody that. So let me just say, I lived in the projects, right? Once upon a crime. One thing my door was always locked. My neighbor across the hall, I moved in, her door was wide open. This was me and my peeps. We was like, why her door open? Why don't you close her door? I used to walk by and close her door. Like, what is going on here, right? Right. But every time something jumped off, every time there was a shooting, the fools could run in our building and run inside her apartment. You know why? Because her door was always open. So what lady, how they get in your house? There's always that one place that you could just go. And that's what happened here. They just ran. She come running outside. I wish I would. I be beating that dude up out of here. And once you hear gunshots, let me just tell you how gunshots go, right? You hear gunshots, you be like, and your kids outside, man, here I am. I'll be putting on sneakers, all out. I hit the road. I hit the pavement, go looking for mine. Don't let them be playing outside. And I hear some gunshots. I'm walking over bodies to get to mine. So how am I gonna let you just run through my house? And the police took about everybody out. And bye. He ran through there, like he ran through there, ran upstairs. So I don't know if that was a relative or something, but that was just really shicey. Then when he was sick, listen, you don't went from laying on the ground and doing all that extra stuff. We would like to show how the police were treating him with respect and all this other stuff. Um, he just shot Big Head back there, who was all out of protocol. And here's the judge again, right? This is a Montauk. It's a lesson to everybody. Mr. Law Enforcement got up there, PTSD in it, lying to us about what happened, knowing. And this is the thing I don't understand about the prosecutor. Show him the tape. Roll that beautiful beam footage so he could have seen that. Excuse me, sir. Why is he back in blue anyway? He definitely didn't follow protocol when he approached Eppinger. Not that I'm justifying Eppinger's reaction, because he definitely jumped out of Popo vehicle. 5012, whatever you want to call it. When he turned around, he saw what he was working with. Now, I don't think the officer was in uniform, because when you see him rolling on the ground, he had beige pants on. Unless they got new uniforms that are beige pants, I don't know. But he was rolling on the grass in beige pants. But he definitely rolled up on him and tried to and I never heard him identify, like, my hearing must be bad. What's up, Calderon? Shout out LMNOP. I never heard that before. Mo is a subset gang. I don't want a false flag. Um, I don't know. The new gang expert has more credentials than Dennis and Gabe put together. Yes, but as I was explaining, this is just a theory of mine. I believe that when they got pressure from the judge to reduce their case, they decided not to use the outside expert and keep everything in-house. So they went with Dennis, because see what happens the way that they're presenting their case, right? Remember, I work with lawyers every day and they all think differently. So I have to deal with 13 different ways of doing business. Maybe two people might do something the same. So about 11 different ways, 11 different approaches to deal with how the lawyers conduct their cases. When they were putting together their case, they decided to put the case together incident by incident. Show you the crime scene, give you a scenario of what happened, then go through the next phase. Um, uh, they give you the scenario what happened, then they give you the person that who arrived at the scene. Like, so they start out with the 911 call. Then they tried to put together whoever the person was from the call into the scene, right? Then who responded to the scene and what did they see? And then the crime scene person and how did they collect it and how did they collect the stuff and where did they put it and this and that? Who shot the pictures? Then they came back and introduced us to the person that, you know, whatever, whatever with the thing. And that's how they were putting together each of these different things, right? Which is why one day we got told about um Arnold's we got told about how to from one perspective of what happened with those police officers, from their perspective of why they pulled them over in the first place in the chase and whatever from their perspective. The following day, we got the other perspective from the people on the scene and what really, you know, from Dennis, we got the other story, right? Because the night before, I was thinking that Martin and them had got beaten up by the police after the police had to go and chase them over fences and initiate what are those things? What do they call those things? The little stupid guns, the taser guns, right? When they de-escalate, listen, and this is what I couldn't stand from Mr. Potato Head. Like when he tried to explain that he de-escalated the situation by pulling out his taser, I was like, so let me understand this. I'm just stupid, all right? So let me work on being stupid for a minute. I'm big bad police officer. I'm jumping out of my vehicle with my gun out. And you, according to him, I thought there was like some tussle. The guy overpowered him. I honestly thought the guy snatched his gun and shot him with his own thing, but that was my whole brain going bad, right? But here's what he actually told us, right? So the guy was overbearing and about to beat me up, and I went for the taser because it's the least deadly. I'm gonna need you to shut all the way up. I'm gonna need you to stop peeing on my leg and tell me that this is raining. Yes, he was shot 6 times. He was well, he said this is the stuff I believe from him. He didn't know he was shot, but he felt the burning sensation. That all of that I believe, right? But the part where he was at fault, right? Because had he followed procedure, right? He may not have been shot. Let's go into law again and let's look at this little thing called proximate causation, but we're just going to call it but for. But for him not following the procedures that are in place, that may not have been what happened to him. But nevertheless, it did happen to him. So we have to deal with the facts at hand. But, you know, Eppinger could have a good case there if the only issue was did the officer follow protocol. So to be quite honest, Eppinger with his attorney that likes to notify people that you know because you know she got arrested in the middle of this, right? He really needs to be severed and have his case tried all alone. He don't need all the workings of all of this for that particular situation. Because if I do recall, Georgia was on my death penalty list of it's still a death penalty state. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe you guys are not a death penalty state anymore. So if I was Eppinger with his little YSL tattoo on the side of his face, he really needs to be severed, all the way severed, and have his thing tried just independent of everybody else. After we done seen Big Head get on the stand yesterday. Mo be reading my mind. I'm just saying, like, after I seen that yesterday, I was like, nah, because homie lied. And he didn't, and here's the thing, he didn't have to lie. Because if he had gotten, this is the ethics now, and this is the things that I'm talking about, not having good models as attorneys, right? They could have showed him his video. Maybe they thought it was too traumatic to show him that he didn't follow protocol. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, this is why I could not be a police officer. Because, see, I don't got time for you not to follow the rules. My life be in danger. That's what he did. I'm thinking, like I was sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, so where's his? I'm thinking these two dudes were together, him and his partner, and loving them is so. They are so stupid. No, I'm gonna go back. Forgive me. I'm not gonna call them stupid. They are tunnel vision because they got to get everything in. Here they gave us another angle when they showed us the crime from the corner, like when we had to look at the camera all the way in the back to see what happened, and we're like all through the driveway or the parking lot, whichever one you want to call it. And you see what occurred from the parking lot view. Nothing adds up. Nothing adds up. Why would they even present that view? Even if they just would have showed Big Head that view, he would have been like, yo, wait a minute here. Did I really do that? Did I really pull and yank on homie's jacket and he turned around and blasted me? No. And then you got the other officer who was in his car and turning the corner. He wasn't even nowhere around you. Nowhere around you. So he came, he turned his corner, he turned the corner. Then he want to be talking about, well, Eppinger just left, right? Realizing that they don't even have a gang situation. This is an independent thought. This is as impulsive as one could get. This was a knee-jerk reaction. Somebody called it muscle memory from Eppinger. These are people that go to the club to go look at some tatas, and they can't even behave themselves in a little tata bar. Y'all supposed to be in there looking at and y'all can't even behave yourself. Yep, I was facing 6 officers with shotguns and sidearms pointed. Me getting off school bus. Report read, I resisted arrest and they drew weapons. He already sentenced for the cop shoot. Oh, he is? He did? Wait a minute. Let me go back to my indictment. Hold up. I swore this is why I can't stand this thing. But I'm gonna read the one thing I will tell y'all that next week when I'm talking about this, no, I will know the difference between the overt act and the regular act because I already done told everybody I was reading this. Hold on. Could that be possible? Oh, hold up, because I'm missing the cover page to see. All right, I ain't got one evening. Eppinger. Oh, now I can say his name, but I couldn't say his name before. I was having that name wrong until yesterday. Come on, Eppinger like got 800 like him and Huey to Teves. All right, hold on. It's one. It's 27. A whole bunch of numbers. Oh no, no. I ready? No, it's a count on here. I'm gonna have to Google it. He got 64 years for armed robbery and the cop shooting. So why are we even talking to that man? All right, let's just explore this. Has crime decreased? Okay, y'all let me know if the blender bothers y'all. As time, so these people have been arrested since 2022. Has the quality of life improved in the neighborhood in zone 3? I just need to know. Zone 3, zone 2, zone 1. I don't know. Has it improved? So Eppinger, yeah. And then Johnson. So yesterday, as I was reading this, I didn't know Johnson. That's the other officer, officer in the car, right? So Officer Johnson comes around the corner and he jumps out his car and I guess he let loose the goose and and shot. What we didn't hear a crime scene people giving us the ballistics from that site and everything else. I don't know. This is just one of the messiest games ever. Um, Let me I cannot believe that Eppinger has been indicted I mean that he's been found guilty of the police officer shooting. Hold on, I gotta go to do quick research. I don't know why. Does anybody find it easier to do research on their phone than on their home computer? I do. All right, and then I'm getting up out of here. Eppinger. This is crazy though. Well, I think the death penalty anyway, if so if you get it's not the death penalty. If you get life in prison, a lot of states life can be a 50-year sentence or a 60-year sentence. I don't even know why. You are so right. And this is the other thing about I don't know why they find the necessity to bring the RICO, right? When they have bona fide long sentences and remedies surrounding sentencing. So I don't even know why this is necessary. Yeah, that is crazy. He sure did. It says he got 20. Do y'all want to know what the first sentence says here? It says, I just for the heck of it, okay? An alleged gun gang member, an aspiring rapper, Eppinger rap too. No, I don't think. Okay, I'm definitely getting out of here now because I just remembered this is Eppinger who was having a relationship with the guard that belonged to the other judge that recused herself. The and I want to do race. The other black judge who recused herself, and it got handed over to Judge Witt, the case. Yeah, I'm going to take myself to bed now. I'm gonna have to look at. I'm gonna have to take a deeper look at Eppinger. What is this? Hold up. No, that can't be him. There's another bad Eppinger running around. All right. I don't want to be. Mm, all right. It's just way too much. He got a rap song. I'm gonna have to go look for the rap song on another day. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and letting me have my rampage for the evening. Um, I do want to conclude with one thing. If Judge Witt can maintain the integrity of the courtroom, I'm just going to be patiently sitting aside now and watching for, I'm going to watch her movements more. I know I'm in environments where people feel that she is biased towards the prosecution. And the more I keep trying to remind people that her obligation to the prosecution is to allow them to try their case because they've got the hardest, they got the burden is on them. They only get one shot at the apple, and you're supposed to try cases in the light favorable to the prosecution because the balance is the true trier of facts, which are the jurors. But the moment love, because she been missing in action, and I've been wondering who she's been tracking while she's been missing in action. And in my head, I keep saying, she might be looking at what the jurors are doing on their free time. Trust no one. I see you guys on Monday. Um, I see you on Monday in this case. Maybe people come to court and tell the truth. I no longer think it's gonna be 16. I was thinking it was gonna be 15 more weeks after today. We would be down to 15 more weeks of trial, but I'm gonna have to do my own due diligence. I need that list of witnesses because I'm gonna make my own now, and I'm gonna go back through some of their hearings to see what it is. They wait till y'all see what kind of tracking sheet I come up with after this weekend, because I'm tired of trying to follow along this case with limited information. I need a little bit more. So I'm gonna get us some more tracking tools that will help us stay aligned to where the case is at. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend. I'm not gonna ask y'all if y'all got any questions, comments, and concerns. Your thoughtful analysis of every aspect of this case is so appreciated. Have a blessed weekend. You do the same. Um, I hate to see us. I it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just gonna have to really learn how to really stand my grounds and be outraged. Just be a little bit more outraged with what I see and really express myself, because I know that there's a whole world out here that is just like, so I'm so into this. These lawyers are so great. These people are, there's a misjustice here and all this other stuff. And there's more to the story than meets the eye. Today's broadcast was brought to you by the M and the O. Mo, mo, mo. See y'all.